So how much does YouTube pay for 1,000 views? Well, all of these guesses, yeah, they're correct. That sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? And this is just the beginning. For example, how much money you make doesn't always depend on your niche. This is a video from our channel, which is all about YouTube education, and it has an RPM of $3.38. This is also a video from our channel, but it has an RPM of $16.44. It's the same channel, the same month, but 5 times the RPM. So how is all of this possible? In a minute, I'll tell you all of the things that affect YouTube revenue, how much real channels are making in different niches, and how to boost your potential YouTube income. But first, an important YouTube fundamental. Hang on, I've already done this. RPM is not to be confused with its close relative CPM. While CPM, or cost per 1,000 views, refers to the cost advertisers pay on ad revenue, RPM, or revenue per 1,000 views, includes all monetization sources: ads, channel membership, super chats, and YouTube premium revenue. In a nutshell, CPM estimates what advertisers are paying, while RPM estimates what the creator's take-home pay is after YouTube's cut. This typically leaves the average creator with 55% of the ad revenue or 70% of the fan funding revenue. Whether or not you think this is creative extortion or a fair deal, the bottom line is YouTube's house and YouTube's rules. And personally, I believe that YouTube leads the industry when it comes to compensating creators. So you're already on the best platform. And of course, you are more than welcome to disagree and argue with me in the comments below. But just remember, you can store an unlimited amount of video online and have it broadcast to a potential audience of 2.5 billion people every single month for free. Feels like a fair deal to me. Anyway, RPM lesson out of the way, let's get back to the topic at hand. Big Macs. Bear with me on this one. Imagine strolling into a McDonald's in New York, Tokyo, or Delhi, craving that iconic Big Mac. Surprisingly, you'll find the price as varied as the cities themselves. This global price difference isn't random. It mirrors the economic landscape, cost of living, and local purchasing power of each locale. On the bustling streets of the financial capitals of the world, such as New York and London, where economies are bigger, the wallets open wider. And that means advertisers are much more willing to pay top dollar to grab a spot on your video, much like a pricier Big Mac. Budgets swell in markets with potential, driving up your CPM and ultimately RPM. Contrast this with quieter economic landscapes where company wallets might not be as thick, reflecting a more modest Big Mac price and similarly your video earnings. And to be crystal clear, this has absolutely nothing to do with your channel settings or where you publish the video. It's the location of the viewer who's watching it that matters. And as you can see, CPMs, the amount advertisers are willing to pay, varies greatly. Even more than the price of a Big Mac. Another important factor is video length. Did you spot the difference earlier on? Yeah, same niche, same channel, same month, but a massive difference in video length. Now there is a somewhat tricky YouTube equation to navigate here, where your video should be as long as possible, but also as short as necessary. The longer it is, the more watch time you can get, therefore the more money you can make. But longer also means it's harder to keep viewers' attention, and it could even be a turn off from the get-go. I mean, how often have you seen a timestamp in the bottom right hand corner of a thumbnail and said to yourself, I ain't got time for this? And so this is where the magic number 8 comes into play. YouTube lets you add more ads if your video is longer than 8 minutes. If you jump into the YouTube Studio, then to monetization, you'll see this option called mid-roll ads, where you can, if you wish, manually place more ads throughout your video. In this example, I placed 3 manual ad spots, which theoretically means I've just increased my potential revenue from that one video. But in reality, it doesn't mean that all of these ads will be shown to viewers. And if you try to abuse the system, YouTube will just laugh in your face. When I tried it on this video, revenue simply went down. So yeah, don't do that. You don't have to place these mid-roll ads manually, by the way. YouTube will do it for you, so there might never be a need to visit this screen. But if you do want to specifically place an ad at a certain point in the video because you know you have them hooked, at least you've got that option. So let's get on to RPMs and niches. And yes, they do play a big part.
So right here in this column is my RPM, and honestly, compared to other channels, from what I've seen, it looks like it's pretty low. I don't really know the reason as to why. Maybe it's because I don't make finance videos, I know those have like a pretty high RPM.
Rebecca Joy is pretty much spot on here. Her niche does somewhat dictate her RPM. As a lifestyle channel, it's a pretty broad topic with a wide audience appeal. It's more likely to be a younger demographic too, which means less disposable income. All of that, it's not as bad as the Couch GM over in the sports niche, who showed an RPM of just $2.64. But we can go lower still. Jack Craig has a football channel called Nutmeg that's showing an RPM of just 50 cents. So are you a creator that puts profit before passion? There isn't anything inherently wrong with this, but RPMs do become a very important metric. And that means there's a lot of niches that you probably want to steer well clear of. Cooking channels, reaction channels, fitness and music are all low earners. A prank channel, which may fall under entertainment and comedy, such as the Kaz Sawyer channel, reportedly earned just $1.61 from each 1,000 views according to the Business Insider. But at the same time, there are always exceptions within a niche. Gaming usually gets a bad rap, but Nifty is reporting an RPM of $2.50. And then, more impressive still, is Wick Gaming with an RPM of just under €5, which exchanges to just over $5. And remember we mentioned music being dreadful earlier on? Well, Mary Spender in the music niche showed a CPM of £8.48, which is over $10. True, this is CPM and not RPM, but it's still an incredible figure from a music channel after YouTube's cut. Even if you do operate in a particular niche, the amount you earn may differ greatly from the average. So it's not really worth complaining to YouTube if your figure is different to somebody else's. It's to be expected. Anyway, back to some examples. What about the niche that's exploding on YouTube right now? Faceless channels. The Zinni Studio, which is a channel that shows viewers how to make their own faceless channels, shared an RPM of just over $6. But what about the other end of the RPM spectrum? How much do high earners rake in every 1,000 views? Joshua Mayo, one of those fabled finance channels, has an average RPM of over $20 that even peaks up to $40 on certain days. This digital marketing channel reported an RPM of over $11. And when you see this as 2 million views over a year for $22,000, you start to see why certain creators make the decision to go into certain niches. Making money and digital marketing seem to be the most lucrative of niches, but what's this I see? Educational videos with an average CPM of $9.89. But is this true? Well, luckily on this occasion we have a lot of data to pour through because we can take a look at our channel. It looks like we do well above average for the niche with a CPM of over $15, and yet our RPM is well under $6. Now my maths isn't brilliant, but that feels like more than a 45% cut from YouTube. But this is where things can get incredibly complicated incredibly quickly. I mean, look at the variation here in CPM between different videos. One about a faceless channel gets more than double the CPM of a video that's about how to start a gaming channel on YouTube. And look at this. Videos about how much creators earn on YouTube do really high CPMs too. Kind of why I'm making this video, to be honest. I need some more money for my Lego budget. Alright, let's get down to the real business of this video. 1,000 views, CPMs, RPMs. Is this what creators should be focusing their attention on if they want to make YouTube financially sustainable? You know what? I think it's time for a quick case study. Manny Ortiz is a self-taught photographer who used to shoot weddings on the weekends while working full-time as a police officer. He jumped on the YouTube bandwagon to showcase his work as a photographer. As it is for every creator, every month's income is different. So here's an example from September 2022, nearly $23,000. And how much do you think came from all of those ads? I'll give you 5 seconds. Barely 10%. You see, the smartest creators don't just rely on YouTube to sell their content to advertisers. They market themselves and earn way more because of it. Manny sells an online course and presets for coloring filters. He represents brands. He diversifies and is a business in his own right. This is a problem, you see. Creators get so obsessed with the scraps, CPMs, RPMs, ad revenue, that they fail to see the real financial opportunities on YouTube. Yes, absolutely, ad revenue is the easiest way to make money on YouTube because you just flick a switch and YouTube takes care of the rest. But YouTube also takes a lot from this, and advertisers work within their own budgets. You are at the very end of this financial funnel, and it's getting squeezed by everybody along the way. So stop focusing on how YouTube is going to monetize your content. That will take care of itself. You need to start researching how to monetize your audience. And maybe your audience isn't big enough to do that yet, but when it is, the rewards will be so much greater. creator. To get you started down this road, even YouTube offers you features on this topic before you even get ad revenue. They will help you directly connect with your community through fan funding. To find out more, watch this video right now.